So I'm getting married in December, and my fiance and I talk about what it means to be loyal and to choose one another. A great story for another time is that my first time I asked my fiance to go on a walk with me, she thought I was joking and laughed, said no, and then walked away. Now you might ask, well, Chase, why did you ask her to go on a walk? You didn't know her, so you must have wanted her or even lusted after her. And this is a blurry line at times, yes. I thought she was cute, and I had heard she was a good person, so I wanted to hang out with her to get to know her. In our society now, and in your schools or growing up, you will probably hear of people objectifying someone that they are attracted to. When I say this, I mean they are degrading the person to just a body for their own pleasure without any regard for their soul or their personality. There's a difference between looking at someone with lust in your eyes and your heart and wanting to know them. This is why, in this lesson from Jesus, this is why it's so important. Our culture is hyper-focused on degrading people to simply just their bodies. You might not realize it, but the movies you see, the music you listen to, the TV shows you watch, they all impact you and tell you how to live or treat other people. A lot of the time in popular entertainment, and especially social media, there is a heavy focus on training you to be lustful or tempting you to lust after people, and you might not even notice it. So with this in mind, my fiance and I have had to discuss these things. As her and I get closer to getting married, we've been talking a lot about boundaries. We all have boundaries or lines we will not cross in our lives. I know the boundaries I will not cross with any woman who is not my wife, and I'm aware of those boundaries constantly. It would be easy to say, well, I've never committed adultery in the sense that I've never done the act or crossed that line. But Jesus redefines that line in the Sermon on the Mount. He brings us to the purpose behind the law given in the Ten Commandments in the Old Testament. He says, "You have heard it said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right eye causes you to stumble, cut it off. Causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell." Now you might say, after listening to this verse, how absolutely crazy. How could Jesus call us to destroy our own bodies? Seriously? Many people might look at this verse and say how ridiculous it must be to be a Christian or to follow Jesus. However, Jesus did not mean this literally. If he did, he probably would have said gouge out both of your eyes. If you get rid of one eye, you can still sin with the other. And I don't know how you sin with just one eye. It is not meant literally. Instead of asking you to amputate, Jesus is asking you to eliminate. If you sin on your phone, Jesus would say to throw it in the dumpster or the sea. If you sin on your computer, he would say the same thing. If you are tempted by one person, Jesus would say leave them. Don't go near them. Don't go to that door to open it. It is better to remove that temptation from your life completely than to walk down that path. Because you have to ask the question, where does the path lead? It leads to heartache, suffering, and the pain for all parties involved. Even with cutting out the temptation, Jesus' point is it's a heart matter, not a hand or an eyes matter. Two people do not randomly commit adultery. It begins way, way before that, at the first glance, where you see a person who is not your spouse in a lustful way. That level of intimacy belongs to a man and a woman being married, and it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. This is a hard lesson from Jesus, and it often brings about two responses: shame or salvation. Jesus does not offer you shame, and if you are feeling shame, head to God in prayer or to a minister or Christian you trust, and I hope that they will tell you to not feel shame. Jesus did not come to earth and die and raise again to bring you shame. He came to offer you salvation and freedom and living a life as God meant it for you when he created you. This does not mean that you go on sinning, but with forgiveness of Christ that he offers, walk the path of freedom, light, and love.